Chad.
Good to see you. How you
Excellent.
been?
Pretty well. Hello.
Chad.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna call the meeting back to order.
Great, well, good morning, good morning. I've got information to present. Our yearly statistics and data for you.
Coffee over there, you want a cup of coffee?
Thank you. No, I'll get right to business and then we'll keep you on task here. We do come to you again, like we have in years past, and certainly appreciate your ongoing support of New Opportunities. Rick continues to be a very instrumental and active board member. He sits on our executive board, and we've worked him well this year with our building and everything else that's been going on. We've had, there's some months where Rick has had to come down at least 2-3 times a month. So it's been lots of meetings and lots of things going on. We've really worked hard at opportunities to keep our funding increasing, or at least staying the same, and our expenses to keep those level. And we're really happy to be able to ask for the same amount of money and not asking for an increase. We know the counties and the cities, and everyone for that matter, are going through economic hardships and hard times, and so we're not asking for an increase. What we're looking to do is ask for the same amount as we have in the past, for $10,150.08 in support of our substance abuse prevention program, and know that $7,320 of those dollars are those matching funds. And so it's one of those, I think it's a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 for every part the county puts in. There's a matching fund from the state that comes to the county and then is basically given to New Opportunities to provide our prevention funding in our schools in this area. And we do, as always, continue to appreciate your in-kind support of the rental space for our treatment center up here. We do take that in consideration. At some point, we should figure out what that is worth so we can give you, the county, more credit, because sometimes Rick and I have had to justify and talk to many of the other county boards of supervisors about, well, why doesn't Sac County give more money to the programming? Our county gives triple what Sac County does. Well, that's not true. Sac County does provide that rental space, and we very much do appreciate that. So.
Can you include that space that we provide for the outreach center too? Or is that
As matching?
Yeah.
I think, I'm almost 99% sure it has to be matching funds. It has to be dollars. It would have to be dollars. I will look into that, but I'm pretty sure it's a dollar kind of thing. Because see, we have to, well, as you probably know, or I'll remind you, we're doing this new thing that's called SharePoint. Are you doing that with some of your other programming as well? But the state of Iowa is requiring us to do, it's requiring Jim actually to do SharePoint with these dollars. And we have to give Jim information on a monthly basis how we're spending those dollars specifically, and that does include those match dollars. It's a really great thing, folks. It's a really great thing. It is making organizations like us be much more accountable, being very forthright with how we're spending those dollars. New Opportunities has never had a concern or a problem with that, so we don't mind, we don't care. The frustrating piece for Jim and many of the other auditors is it's so darn much work for such a little bit of money. And we hate to be, kick a gift horse in the mouth, but at the same time, there is a lot of additional paperwork and things that Jim is going to be doing or is doing with the computer right now to show the state how we're spending those dollars. And see, our prevention dollars, we're very busy with those dollars in September and October during the beginning of the school year. And so in the past, what we have done, what New Opportunities has done, is we just simply bill you, I guess is what I would call it, on a quarterly basis, and it all comes out at the end, and we can show you those figures, and always have showed you those figures. What the state is saying is that they want to know on a monthly basis how we're spending those dollars. And so this is a great example of, for the month of February and March, we're not doing as much with prevention because school is beginning to, believe it or not, starting to wrap up, that kind of thing. Jim still is required to put together this report and do all these different things in the computer, and it's a ton of work for, it might be $300, Jim. It's just going to be a small amount of dollars, and it's just, you're killing us, but it is what it is. So, looking at the handouts that I've given you this morning, it's just, I think, always interesting information for you folks to know that the different age groups and different things that are going on. We did see over 1,092 folks at our outreach office here. When we're looking at males versus females, you can see that we did see more females, approximately 600 females, and just right over 400 males. We move on to the second page, education level. The majority of the clients that we're working with within our Family Development Center are those who've got a high school graduate or GED. There are some who are not graduates per se, but the majority do have a high school graduation. Caucasian, white is the main ethnicity that we're working with in some of our counties. That's very important for the boards of supervisors. They want to make sure that we're working with all races and all different ethnicities. In Sac County, there's still, it's predominantly Caucasian, as you probably know. Going on then to the bottom of page 3, looking at the households by family type, we're working with a lot of single folks. Our next highest would be those with 2 adults with children, are the family types that we're working with. And then moving on to page 4, which kind of gets into what I consider to be one of the interesting statistics the last few pages, as the CEO kind of guy that I am, is looking at the folks we're working with. Are they owning their homes? Are they renting their homes? You know, how responsible, accountable, what kinds of things are they doing? And so as you can tell, the majority of the folks we're working with do own or they're buying their home, which is a good thing. It's a good thing for the county supervisors and for the county taxpayers, because these are folks who are invested in the community and the counties. These are not folks who are just staying for a few months and then leaving. More than likely, they're here for life, is the hope and the plan. And on the bottom of the page, it just gets into more of the specific on that page 4, looking at how many people within their family size. Really, it's for splitting out the 3, 4, 5, 6 people homes, information for you to look at as well. Looking on page 5, looking at the sources of income, and we're working with a lot of retired folks in Sac County, and then also that number that is always concerning in all of our counties is what I would consider it's the working poor. It's those folks who are employed either in Sac County or a nearby county, yet they continue to need some assistance from us, either for our food pantries, our energy assistance, our weatherization. You know, we would just love to see that number getting lower, because what that means obviously is that people just they're not making enough of their jobs. They're still needing additional help. How we come up with that is not something that we just dreamt up. This is the federal poverty guideline, and on the bottom of that page 5 looks at that poverty level and looks at that chart as to what determines if a person is in poverty. And so you can see where, for instance, a two-person family, if they're making $1,214 or less per month, they would be considered to be in federal poverty.
When you, and I guess I've never asked this question, when you're doing that, is that net? Or is it gross?
That would be gross, is what that would be. And that is 200% at the poverty. That's what federal, it's different, 240, 210, 150. This is the 200% poverty level.
These numbers reflect 200%.
These numbers reflect 200%. And then the next page actually gets into the different numbers, the other numbers that we've got, that 0 to 100%, 101 to 125%, the other levels of poverty that we're also working with. So it splits it out. So we've got lots of things going on in Sac County. Like always, we're very pleased to be providing services. Do you want to have any questions for us as to what's going on?
I had a question on page 4.
Okay.
On the first graph, we don't have any homeless, is this what you?
That is true. Our statistics are not showing any kind of a homeless situation. And I can look it up. There might be 1 or 2, but it appears that there's nothing there.
That's good.
That is good.
Who determines, how do you know versus some of the
Well, most of the other not-for-profit or social service agencies in the area know to refer those folks to us for those weatherization, energy assistance, homeless kinds of issues. We are kind of the go-to person. So if a family were to come to us and say that they're going to be evicted from their home, and we do have a new program. It's the rapid rehousing, HPRP, homelessness prevention rapid rehousing program. It's a brand new program that we're getting through HUD, and we are preventing people from becoming homeless. And so if Rick and his wife were to come to us and indicate that they're going through some difficult times, we would work with him, get him through some financial education counseling sessions, some budgeting counseling classes. We would even potentially help him with his mortgage payment for that month or renting for that month to make sure that he doesn't get homeless. And so it's a really great program. It is unfortunately being funded through the stimulus dollars, and so we are looking for those dollars to end shortly. But it is a very, very good program to keep people from being homeless and becoming, even more expensive per se to our society, and of course going through some very difficult times for them and their families.
Is there a shelter in Carroll?
There's not. No, there's not. What we've got is, we've got a very mini grant with the Salvation Army. We get around $2,500 a year that if someone is coming through Carroll, or if someone from Sac County is homeless, which I'm not aware of that happening, they could come to Carroll and they would be able to stay in our hotel, or if there would be a hotel up here, we would pay for that hotel room for a day or two or three until we can get them situated. A lot of times what we do, Dean, is we refer those clients and families, we get them transportation to a permanent homeless kind of shelter, or even more inclusive.
Sometimes law enforcement would find people
Yeah.
homeless.
We always
They're on the
love-
road, and then they have to pay
Yeah.
something.
We don't always love law enforcement's response, because there is what law enforcement a lot of times does is that they will bring them from county line to county line. And this does happen, where we may have Crawford County deputies that will say, hey, just want to let you know that we picked up a gentleman he's from Omaha. And maybe it's a good thing, but Crawford County will call Carroll County and they say, we just picked up a homeless person. He's got his bag of stuff, doesn't have anything to him, but he's trying to get to Iowa City. And we just don't want any trouble, we don't want any problems. We're gonna transport him to your line, Carroll County, so you need to know that this is happening. Guess what happens? Carroll County deputies picks the person up at the line and takes them over. Now, there's some good things to that. Public safety, that's probably a good thing. But if this person is truly indigent and there is no plan, we would like to get involved with the social service agency to try to help this person figure out what is the plan, what are they going to do, how are they going to live, and that sort of thing. But there is a system in place.
At one time, when I first started in police work, we would let them check into the city jail, and they could spend the night and have breakfast. They were free, they weren't there, but they check in. We figured that kept them out of breaking into
Right.
someplace or
Yeah.
getting complaints on them.
Mhm.
But they stayed, that was real common for someone to come in and say, can I stay here tonight? I don't have any plans. But I don't think they let them do that anymore.
Probably not, with liability issues, it probably just doesn't.
But that would used to be real common.
Did Tina have some questions for Chad?
I think we want to run through some of the funding requests and some of the things that we've paid out over the last year. Make sure that we have all of our numbers right for this upcoming budget preparation. And if you want to just go over those with him in that report, we can just go ahead with the meeting.
Sure.
That work?
Mhm.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Chad.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Safe
Thanks.
trip home.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thanks. Keep an eye on Rick.
Yeah, he's a handful, by the way.
It's a man.
You all know that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ron?
Did you guys want? You got one? Sure, we'll just share it. once
I'll
we
get
keep
one.
on to keep a copy.
We can have it. We got one.
Pretty short. In fact, Mike was not helping do stuff and didn't get back to the office to make a report, so I just called him on the phone. And we went over a couple things and basically plowing snow on the paved roads, trying to allow for reasonable travel conditions.
Good.
And plowing on the gravels. And we'll be replenishing our salt and sand as soon as we get caught up on the plowing, so.
The roads down, my part of the world looked pretty good. They, yesterday, they weren't out on the gravel roads down there, where there were some places, but this morning, everything was, winged out pretty good, Ron. They weren't, well, stuff was froze down harder, and
Yeah.
they pretty well clean bladed the roads, this time.
Yeah, there's probably a little more snow down in your corner.
And,
Like I
it
said,
looked, it looked good, everything, the issue we talked about last week was very good.
I got a phone call yesterday, or last night, from one of the people in Olivon, or rural Olivon, commending how good a job the guy did down there. And they were really appreciative of it, they said. It's outstanding.
this last,
They went out Sunday and put some salt and sand on the,
Yeah.
M68. Sunday morning, plow went by my place, 6 o'clock, so put salt and sand maybe,
salt and sand both, yeah.
so if they did that everywhere, they,
Oh, that warm sunny weather is nice to see, but then when the snow's blowing across it, just makes a mess of the roads.
yeah, yesterday, like, on the curves between Wall Lake and Lakeview, there's that, it'd been drifting over there, and just a lot of ice. And there was a car in the ditch, I think, that didn't come around the curve and hit that kind of black ice or,
Yeah.
rhinestone.
That's, that's the trouble too, the whole road isn't that way, it's just patches and the snow's blowing and sticking and freezes, so. Project update, not a whole lot new there. I did go ahead and add that, closing that road was restricted by our contract documents until after March 1st. Haven't heard from the contractor whether he's planning on starting as soon as he can, or whether he's gonna wait till later in the spring, but, the late start date is June 6th. I can't remember, I think it's 70 working days, so barring weather should put it done by the first part of October, so. But hopefully he's gonna come in and get started on that, so. We'll let you know as soon as we hear something.
We had some discussion before you arrived, and we've just had our audit report, and we're written up again for vacation being way over. And this is about the third time that we've had this conversation, and we're getting very tired of having this happen year after year after year. And our policy is pretty much spelled out both in the union contract and the last time that we addressed this situation was that you have the ability to allow 5 days carried over from the max, and if it's over that, you're gonna lose it. And we've got several here that are way out of whack, of which 2 are from your department, and Mike, and we appreciate his effort that but he also has to delegate, and Ted Schulte is a good qualified person who can step up and do some of the things that need to be done when Mike needs to take time off. And we have this conversation about length of time of vacation, and it seems when the group comes in to negotiate, they ask for another week, and they're not using what they got.
Yeah,
Most of them are.
yeah.
That's true.
This is an exception, I mean.
But this is the
it's
same
less than
one.
5, yeah, but it's less than 5% of it. But it's gotta be addressed.
Well, and
I thought we'd made that clear last year, and evidently.
And I guess I thought, you know, when you did make that payout, that was a one-time deal.
It is.
After that, they're gonna lose it.
That's correct.
And,
That is correct.
so I guess we just need to, I need to talk to Kim, I guess, and make sure that she takes that off, that they are,
The other thing, Ron, is the reason that the auditors get irritated with us is that when these are accumulated and the payout would be at a higher rate than what they were earned. And that's just not gonna happen. So we're drawing this to your attention to be
Yeah.
taken care of. And don't wanna see it next year.
Right, we don't wanna get dinged on that one again.
They better get on it before
Completely
June.
unnecessary.
but that is a policy you're gonna follow, is that if they're over the carryover, that they will lose it, right?
That's correct.
That
That's-
there's no payout.
That we did that and got it squared up, and that was the
Yeah.
understanding when we did it,
Okay,
a couple of years ago.
yeah. And you're right, Mike doesn't like to be gone away. He thinks he needs to be here, and he puts in some, you know, a lot of hours, a lot of time, and I tried to encourage him to take more time away. I guess I need to get that report.
You're gonna have to give him some time away. Period. I mean, tell him, hey, next week you're off or something like that.
And Ted is certainly a good, capable person to step up and do what needs to be done, and we just need to
Yeah.
use it.
And when Ted's gone, I know Mike has had one of the other guys helping some too, when there's a need.
We give them 30th of June to get this squared away, and after that, it's all gone.
Well, I mean, we had this, I think it's determined already, it just needs to be taken on.
Yeah.
They each should have right now, because of their anniversary dates, they each should have 150 hours. And at your discretion, one more week in addition to that, so everything else would just go away. So it'd be 190.
190 hours.
That's not right, it should be 200, it would be 160 plus 40.
Right,
Yeah, he has 150.
right. But they're, according to the records downstairs, their anniversary dates are January 1st.
On both of these?
Did you
Yeah.
talk to Joe about that?
Yeah, and they are, those are accurate.
So, you know, they each should then have 150 plus 40, or 160.
60 plus 40, so it would be a maximum of 200.
Okay. And that's looked at as, what's the 610 report in there? Was that from last?
That's when the auditors reviewed the,
Last,
when they were here.
Correct. And then the next one is maximum allowed without the consideration of the week that is
Yeah.
written in, and then current.
Currently.
And
what they
that's,
accrued.
that's as of February 1st then or something?
Yeah.
Probably last pay period,
Probably last pay period,
I would say,
right.
so 28.
I will get Kim to give me that. We started a new report about it a little over a year ago that gives the report report on what everybody's got, and I need to make sure she's giving it to me, and I'll start looking over that so we can get these caught sooner. Okay. We talked about bridges last time, and I forgot to bring that list of bridges. I might, you got that meeting this afternoon, I mean, just go ahead and copy that off and bring it to you, so you give it to you, look at just what bridge postings changed with this last inspection schedule. So,
I mean, you might have said last week how many, any significance or?
well, the only, like that one, that went from almost legal to a 6-ton was that one up there in Douglas.
Any of them on paved or roads or?
There was 2 of them on paved roads that we're gonna have to, we either had to post not legal or post them for one truck on the
One truck.
bridge at a time. And one of them is right up here north of D15 on this drainage ditch here.
So, and M54.
Yeah, M54 just north of D15, and then the other one's,
I saw the Cyril Nealon's.
Yeah.
the other one I think is on,
1035.
yeah, I think it's that one. It's right south of 20, I think it's that one right there. That we gotta post one with. But the one that took the biggest change is this one here on this gravel road, that the probably are getting a little bad shape on. The other ones, I think there was one that was a 6-ton and went 3-ton, and
That's good for a pickup. That's,
Yeah.
that's about it.
6 tons is a lot more than that either, so, I mean, it wouldn't have been crossing with much of anything, but I think they're,
So what, you know, if we're starting to get behind and we're not keeping up, what are our alternatives for generating revenue to make it happen?
Or can we change our plan to do those that are become more urgent than?
well, and that's what we've
We've
tried
kind
to
of been doing.
you know, we've been, you know, as those other 2 that came up on the paving that were limited to 1 truck on a time, we've been trying to keep all our pavements legal.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're gonna work that one north of M54 into the plan here when we do our program.
But if we do that long bridge west of Wall Lake, that's,
That,
how
Well,
much
right.
would be up?
right now, we've got a pretty good balance on BR funds. I don't have that with me. I think we get about
80 a year.
170, 180 a year. And they'll let you borrow 3 years ahead, so, I mean, we can, you know, develop several of these projects and get them to the point where they can be let, and I don't think we'll get to the point where we're out of BR funds and borrow that far ahead, but.
I really don't want to, just because of something like this deal pops up and you go south real quick, but you don't want to be in a spot where you can't do anything for 3 years.
I mean, the project like that there on M54, we're thinking we can put a box in there, and typically aren't a whole lot of extra hoops to jump through as far as Army Corps or DNR with wetlands. There shouldn't be any wetlands issues on that one, but when you get into like that one west of Wall Lake, there might be some issues with wetlands if we're widening the shoulders and building basically a footprint through the bottom.
Will that be a bridge again?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's a,
yeah. That's a 210-foot structure, so.
the watershed, you know, goes all the way up north of Shaver, the Boyer.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's on the Boyer.
That's on the border, yeah.
I don't know how many acres are in that one, but
It's
it's,
huge.
I mean, one of the other bridges that we've got some deck issues with is that one down there by Herring, that's over the Boyer too. But we've been patching the deck, and that's one of those that, you know, eventually we'll have to do something with as far as replacing it.
still got wood abutments, yeah.
It's got, it's sort of there's a bridge, an older bridge that was widened once, and when they widened it, I think there's a stub abutment on the north side, but on the south side, I think it's got concrete piling in the center, but then I think the widening, I think they did with wood, if I remember right. I haven't looked at that again, but, so far, I don't think it's a piling problem. I mean, I don't think there's any structure problem underneath, it's just the deck's got rough spots and pop outs in it, and, but yet it's a bridge that's been widened at one point, and really doesn't make sense to do a deck overlay project on it, so, we'll continue to patch it, but that's one that eventually needs to get in the loop to get replaced too. But I don't, there wasn't any bridges so far that we've had to close. I mean, we've got that one over there on that entrance off of Highway 39, and we're gonna try to get, in fact, we've got quotes on pipes already, but we're gonna put plans together to get quotes on installing it, and hopefully get that installed fairly early this spring. And if things go as we hope they do. Hopefully the structure of the cap will hold in there till we get that done, so. But there, I mean, you're right, there is more bridge needs out there than what we got funding for, and, I mean, again, we try to, you know, keep the roads gravelled and keep them clean in the wintertime, and so it's construction stuff that basically gets pushed back as you try to maintain what we've got, so.
Well, this inflation in steel and rubber,
Yeah,
and fuel, it's,
I mean, we definitely need to get I mean, they hate to call it a gas tax, it should almost be called a user's fee, but,
The other consideration now, it's not $100,000 a time, it's 300.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
that's a huge difference too.
I mean, if you could take a magic wand and say, okay, we don't need a 1 mile grid anymore, let's lay out a 2 mile grid, and you just change it to a 2 mile grid, but yet, you know, where people live and where they need to go
Well,
don't fit that, so.
No way, no how.
But, I think we're gonna continue to see some of those, you know, structures that we close and, you know, can't afford to, you know, to replace. By the way, I did send a letter out to Kent Lumen and that land manager, just saying
Good.
what's happening, you know, we'd like to do something with this. I just sent that out Monday, so I haven't heard back yet.
You know, they're a year and a half ago or a little longer, he seemed to be pretty interested in getting something done, and then kind of
Yeah.
lately.
And we've talked, I think the last time we talked was, I talked to him I talked about land manager, I think like in September. And, he supposedly had talked to the landowner and hadn't gotten really any response, and so I had suggested to Kent at that time that he go talk to the landowner and see if he could get something off of Dead Center here, but.
The person's local.
Storm Lake, I think.
I see, because, you know, quite often,
Yeah, it was an elderly couple, and I think, I don't know, they wanted to go talk to their lawyer or something, and so, I don't know what kind of help they're in, but I think both him and her were alive at that time, last September. But, I mean, I guess the only other thing we could do is proceed with it and have, go ahead and publish and hold a hearing and close it, but as part of that hearing, we need to either sell it or remove it, and we've got to address it before we can actually vacate the road, so. They
Right, I
really
mean,
need to have that worked out, so.
You offered a good solution, it's just a matter of getting them to agree.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Can I get my line item numbers before the end of the week?
I sure can. You're just talking major lines, right?
We had
Actually,
to get
I
ours
need them
turned
all.
into, we have to turn ours into our
I
budget.
gotta get that put together.
We didn't find out about our mileage.
Okay. Our numbers, you know, we had that,
Yeah, she's changing those around.
and
Just
so
the right.
that was what we
category.
were waiting for.
Okay.
What's the lost money going for in SAC, is that, how was that stated?
50% went to property tax reduction and the other 50% went to infrastructure and maintenance.
I mean, at some time, would that be something we could use for bridge construction if it's ever caught up?
We could use it to
You want-
overlay that road south of town.
Do you want the short answer?
Actually, you know, it all goes to it all went to the general fund and with the transfers to secondary roads, it's helping in that part of it, so. And that's up to the supervisors if they want to change it or not.
Is that kind of sunset on it?
No.
Because I did hear about another, I think there were a couple of the counties that had the local option sales tax, and then it got voted out.
Yeah,
In the rule, which is like shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, it's,
Are they gonna start mobilizing next month for road work on 20, or they wait till April before?
I think before you actually see any dirt move, I mean, it's sort of like going field start working crop on, I think it's gotta be thawed out all the way underneath. I mean, you'll see continued work on the bridges.
How's that going?
I haven't really looked at it lately, I know they've been pouring some concrete on the different ones, but, I know we got, in fact, I talked to, Mark Fryer last week, and he said, oh yeah, you can drive in fairly close to this one up here down, over the Raccoon.
Oh, is that right?
They put on the road to the north,
On the west side, yeah.
you go to the west side of that bridge,
Across.
it comes south,
Yeah.
you can drive back.
We've been down there.
You and I went down
A
there.
long time ago, though. I mean, quite a while.
Yeah,
We went down there just, what, a month ago, a little more?
Did you?
Yeah.
but it sounds like they built a temporary bridge across the Raccoon down in there so they can get the cement trucks down
Oh, really?
into the coffer dams that they're pouring.
So maybe we'll have to go out there, I guess.
But,
Get the full drive. Get any hard hats or say supervisor on me. Don't tread on me. Okay, thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah, the
Ron.
guys, I think they did a good job this weekend.
But I'll get that bridge list and get to you after I've been coming to that hearing for a little while. Nothing's been filed, right, or I should say, just a petition's been filed, it's just an informal meeting.
This is an informal meeting,
Um,
informal.
I don't know how far up in there they're talking about trying to run a tile, but if they wanna go across 1028, it'd be nice to know that before they rebuild it.
Well, it would have to. If this were to go forward, they would certainly go across there.
And,
that's at 1:30.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sound law enforcement, sound.
Have anything else?
Nope.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.